As someone who has spent a lifetime studying the human body and watching people age not just in numbers, but in spirit, in movement, in how they show up for life, I can tell you this. The way you age is not just written in your DNA. It's written in your daily choices, especially what you put on your plate. Have you ever looked in the mirror one morning and thought, I don't feel like myself anymore? Maybe your skin doesn't bounce back the way it used to. Maybe your energy seems to fade before the day is done. Maybe your thoughts feel a little slower, like walking through fog. If any of this sounds familiar, let me reassure you, you're not alone. And more importantly, you are not powerless. Most people think of aging as a countdown. The older we get, the fewer good years we have left. But I've learned to see aging as a rhythm, one that can speed up or slow down depending on how we care for ourselves. And food is one of the greatest conductors of that rhythm. The meals we choose either nourish our organs or burden them. They can calm inflammation or ignite it. They can support clear thinking or fuel forgetfulness. We don't talk about this enough, but your fork is a daily decision between breakdown and repair, between decline and renewal. You see, aging doesn't happen all at once. It's not like one day you wake up with wrinkles or stiffness or memory loss. It creeps in slowly, over years, through silent processes happening deep inside your cells. Processes like oxidative stress, chronic low-level inflammation, and glycation, all of which are directly influenced by what you eat. Processed foods, full of additives and stripped of nutrients, act like tiny saboteurs in your system. They introduce artificial chemicals your body struggles to recognize, and they spike blood sugar levels that damage proteins and clog blood vessels. These effects don't make headlines. They don't knock you over in a day, but they accumulate, and one day they show up as arthritis, high blood pressure, or memory lapses that scare you more than you want to admit. But the good news is just as powerful. Nature has already given us the antidotes. Whole foods, the kind that grow from the ground, that ripen under the sun, that carry vibrant colors and rich flavors. These foods are packed with compounds that protect your cells, nourish your brain, and slow the clock on aging. Take polyphenols, for example. These are natural antioxidants found in foods like blueberries, spinach, apples, olives, and dark chocolate. Polyphenols neutralize free radicals, unstable molecules that damage your DNA and accelerate aging. They also help regulate inflammation, keeping your joints smoother, your skin firmer, and your mind clearer. Healthy fats, like those in nuts, seeds, and wild-caught fish, support the membranes of your cells and feed your brain the compounds it needs to stay sharp. Fiber from fruits and vegetables not only keeps your digestion moving, it also feeds the beneficial bacteria in your gut, which in turn produce chemicals that reduce inflammation and improve immunity. So when you think about what's on your plate, think about what you're feeding beyond hunger. You're feeding your future. You're feeding your clarity. You're feeding your chance to age with dignity, with confidence, with strength. I've met 80-year-olds who had more mental sharpness than people half their age. I've seen 70-year-olds out-hike folks in their 30s. And I've seen 50-year-olds who already feel like life has passed them by. What's the difference? In many cases, it's how they eat, not just occasionally but consistently over time. Let me be clear. It's not about being perfect. No one needs to live on kale and quinoa every day. This is not a diet. It's a mindset. It's about choosing whole over artificial, colorful over bland, nourishing over numbing. It's about remembering that your body wants to heal, wants to perform, wants to age gracefully, but it needs your cooperation. If you're over 50 and you're noticing the signs: slower recovery, less energy, more belly fat, foggy thinking, don't ignore them. These are not just signs of aging. They are signals from your body asking for better fuel. Listen to them. Honor them. Feed them wisely. Start by adding more real food to your day. Throw some berries into your oatmeal. Swap soda for water with lemon. Roast vegetables instead of opening a box. Small steps, repeated daily, create momentum. And momentum is how change becomes permanent. You don't have to fear aging. You just have to meet it with intention. And one of the most powerful places to begin is in your kitchen. Because what you eat truly becomes who you are and how you age. Let's talk about something we don't always see until it's too late. I'm not talking about the deep lines across your forehead or the stiffness in your back when you get out of bed. I'm talking about the silent forces inside your body that push aging faster than it has to be. Forces that don't make noise but leave clear damage as the years roll on. And the biggest one of these is inflammation. Inflammation is the body's way of responding to injury or infection. It's natural. It's even necessary. When you get a cut or catch a cold, inflammation is your body sending out an army of healing. But when inflammation hangs around too long, when your body thinks it's always under attack, it turns against you. This is what we call chronic inflammation. And chronic inflammation is one of the core drivers of fast aging. What causes it? A major cause is the food we eat every day without thinking. Highly processed snacks, artificial sweeteners, refined sugars, preservatives, and unnatural fats all feed the fire of inflammation. Over time, they damage your blood vessels, stiffen your joints, wear out your gut, and disrupt your memory. You may not feel it at first, but one day you'll notice your knees hurting more, or you'll forget names, or your skin begins to sag even though you haven't changed anything else. Let's look at sodium. Salt is necessary in small amounts, but the kind of salt you get in processed food chips, canned soups, deli meats, is more than your body can handle. High sodium intake raises blood pressure quietly. And over time, high blood pressure damages the lining of your arteries. This makes your heart work harder and increases your risk of stroke, kidney problems, and heart failure. Then there's sugar. Added sugars are not the same as the natural sugars in fruits or dairy. I'm talking about the kind of sugar dumped into soda, candy, pastries, and even in sauces and salad dressings. When you flood your body with sugar regularly, your body starts creating something called advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. These little molecules may not sound scary, but they bind to your collagen and elastin, the proteins that keep your skin firm and your joints flexible. When those proteins get damaged, your skin sags, your joints ache, and your body ages faster. The foods that are the worst offenders? Think middle aisles of your grocery store, prepackaged cookies, sugary cereals, instant noodles, fast food fries, soda cans. These aren't just empty calories. They are active agents in the acceleration of aging. Now, I'm not saying never eat anything enjoyable again, but you have to start noticing the difference between food that feeds you and food that fools you. Artificial sweeteners may say 0 calories, but they confuse your metabolism and mess with your gut bacteria. Preservatives may make food last longer on a shelf, but they don't preserve your health. In fact, many of them are linked to higher risks of cancer, digestive issues, and yes, faster visible aging. Think about your gut. Inside your digestive tract are trillions of bacteria, many of which are essential for immune function, digestion, and even mental clarity. When you eat processed food, you're not just feeding yourself, you're feeding the wrong kind of bacteria. And as the bad bacteria grow, they produce toxins that cause low-grade inflammation throughout your body. And don't overlook your skin. Your skin is your largest organ, and it's often the first place you'll notice the effects of poor eating habits. When your collagen breaks down, you lose firmness. When your skin cells are inflamed, they lose their glow. Your complexion becomes dull, uneven. You look tired even after a good night's sleep. So, what can you do? First, awareness. Read labels. If you can't pronounce the ingredients, your body probably can't process them well either. Cut down on processed foods. Choose items with short ingredient lists and no added sugars. Drink water, not soda. Choose snacks like fruit, nuts, and yogurt instead of chips or candy. And most importantly, start shifting your mindset. Food is not just about satisfaction or convenience. It's about longevity. It's about the way your body moves, thinks, heals, and feels as you age. Once you truly understand that every meal is either a step toward vitality or a step toward decline, it becomes easier to make the better choice. We're going to talk more about the foods that heal in the next part. But before we get there, remember this. The enemy of graceful aging is not time. It's inflammation, sugar, and artificial additives. These things don't just add weight or inches. They subtract life, clarity, and strength. You owe it to yourself and to the years ahead to start noticing. Start choosing wisely. And start replacing the silent enemies with food that truly serves you. Now that we've looked closely at the foods that harm us, it's time to shift the spotlight. Let's talk about the foods that don't just slow aging, but help reverse its effects, one bite at a time. The kind of food that speaks directly to your cells, calms inflammation, nourishes your brain, protects your skin, and keeps your muscles working the way they're supposed to: strong, stable, and resilient. You've heard the phrase, eat the rainbow. It's not just a colorful idea. The colors in fruits and vegetables are more than visual appeal. They're signs of polyphenols, powerful plant compounds that act like shields against cellular damage. Polyphenols fight oxidative stress, neutralize harmful free radicals, and repair DNA. And these aren't fringe benefits. These are the foundational needs of healthy aging. Start with berries. Blueberries, strawberries, blackberries, raspberries, they are rich in anthocyanins, a type of polyphenol linked to reduced inflammation and better brain function. In one large-scale study, older adults who ate berries regularly had slower rates of cognitive decline. Their memory stayed sharper. Their ability to process and respond to information remained stronger for years longer than those who didn't eat berries. And there's more. Berries are also high in dietary fiber, which helps regulate blood sugar and supports a healthy gut. Remember, your gut influences everything from mood to immunity. When you feed your gut good food, it repays you with balance, strength, and clarity. Next, let's talk about dark leafy greens: spinach, kale, arugula, collard greens. These are loaded with vitamins like folate and vitamin K, which support brain function and bone health. They're also rich in lutein, a compound that protects your eyes and improves cognitive performance. 1 cup a day of these greens has been linked to a brain age that appears 11 years younger. Now move to the nuts. Walnuts, almonds, pistachios, and macadamia nuts are not only high in healthy fats, they also contain fiber, antioxidants, and essential minerals like magnesium and zinc. These help regulate blood pressure, reduce inflammation, and support nerve function. A handful of mixed nuts a day has been linked to lower mortality rates in aging populations. They're simple, they're portable, and they're powerful. Don't forget extra virgin olive oil, liquid gold, when it comes to aging. Rich in monounsaturated fats and polyphenols like hydroxytyrosol and oleocanthal, olive oil protects your heart, reduces inflammation, and even supports brain health. Studies have shown that people who consume 3 to 4 tablespoons of olive oil per day have significantly lower risks of stroke and memory decline. The Mediterranean diet, rich in olive oil, is not just a trend. It's a time-tested way of eating that supports long-term wellness. Let's add dark chocolate to the list, but not the sugary kind. Real dark chocolate, with over 70% cocoa content, contains flavonoids that improve blood flow, reduce oxidative stress, and support skin elasticity. Combined with a cup of black coffee, which also has anti-inflammatory properties, you get a satisfying way to start your day while nourishing your brain and skin. Now, let's talk seafood. Fatty fish like salmon, sardines, mackerel, and anchovies are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, key nutrients for brain and heart health. Even whitefish like cod and halibut contain useful amounts of omega-3s. These fats reduce inflammation in the brain, lower the risk of dementia, and help your blood vessels stay flexible. One study showed that adults who ate more omega-3s had 10% lower risk of cognitive decline. That's not just data. That's the difference between being able to hold a conversation with your grandchild or forgetting their name. Shellfish like mussels, clams, and shrimp also contribute. They're high in minerals and B vitamins that support nerve function and energy metabolism. If you're not a seafood lover, consider a high-quality omega-3 supplement. It's one of the few supplements I genuinely recommend. And here's a simple tip to incorporate all this. Start your morning with oatmeal topped with berries and walnuts. Cook it with water or unsweetened almond milk. Add a spoonful of chia seeds. These tiny seeds are rich in fiber and omega-3s, helping your digestion and reducing inflammation right from the start of your day. At lunch, go for a big leafy green salad with olive oil dressing, a handful of nuts, some grilled fish, and colorful vegetables like bell peppers or beets. For a snack, choose a square of dark chocolate with coffee or green tea. Dinner can be a mix of roasted vegetables, legumes like lentils or chickpeas, and again, a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil. These meals don't just feed your hunger, they feed your future. They are simple, satisfying, and deeply healing. You don't need expensive superfoods or rare powders. The real magic is in the foods that have been around for centuries, grown, harvested, prepared with care. Remember, every cell in your body is built from what you eat. When you give your body nutrients that it recognizes and uses with ease, it rewards you with clarity, stability, strength, and resilience. It's not about looking young forever. It's about living well for as long as you can with presence, with purpose, and with joy. When most people hear the word fat, they instantly think of something they need to avoid. Decades of misleading headlines and low-fat trends taught us that fat was the enemy. But now we know better. Not all fats are created equal. In fact, some fats are absolutely essential, especially as we age. They are not just energy sources. They are builders, protectors, and healers. Let's start with the brain. Your brain is nearly 60% fat. Every thought, memory, and decision depends on fats that keep your brain cells communicating properly. The right fats help maintain the fluidity of your cell membranes, allowing nutrients in and waste out. They reduce inflammation in the brain and support the formation of neurotransmitters, the chemicals that let your brain send signals. The most important group here is omega-3 fatty acids. These are called essential fats because your body cannot make them on its own. You must get them from food. Omega-3s help build the structure of the brain. They improve mood, protect against depression, and reduce the risk of cognitive decline. So where do you find these omega-3s? One of the richest sources is fatty fish, salmon, sardines, mackerel, herring, and anchovies. Even some white fish like cod and halibut offer decent amounts. Eating these 2 or 3 times a week is one of the best things you can do for your aging brain. What if you don't eat fish? You can still get some omega-3s from plant-based sources like flax seeds, chia seeds, walnuts, and hemp seeds. These contain ALA, a type of omega-3 that your body can convert, though less efficiently, into the forms your brain prefers. To ensure you're getting enough, a good quality omega-3 supplement, especially one high in EPA and DHA, can make a real difference. Let's move to your heart. Omega-3s also lower triglycerides, reduce blood pressure, slow the buildup of plaque in arteries, and lower the risk of heart attack and stroke. In other words, they keep your blood flowing freely and your heart beating steadily. One study involving over 100,000 participants showed that those who consumed more omega-3s had significantly lower rates of heart disease. Another healthy fat worth highlighting is the monounsaturated fat found in extra virgin olive oil. This oil isn't just tasty, it's medicinal. It contains unique polyphenols like oleocanthal and hydroxytyrosol compounds with powerful anti-inflammatory and antioxidant effects. They protect your arteries, reduce joint pain, and may even fight the buildup of harmful proteins in the brain linked to Alzheimer's disease. How much olive oil should you use? Studies suggest that 3 to 4 tablespoons a day is associated with better heart health and reduced risk of stroke. That might sound like a lot, but when used in cooking, salad dressings, or even drizzled over cooked vegetables, it adds up easily. Don't be afraid of avocados either. They're rich in heart-healthy monounsaturated fats, along with potassium, fiber, and antioxidants. Avocados support healthy cholesterol levels, reduce belly fat, and help you absorb more nutrients from other foods. Nuts and seeds deserve a repeat mention. Almonds, pistachios, walnuts, flax seeds, these provide a steady stream of healthy fats, along with minerals and plant-based protein. They make perfect snacks that stabilize blood sugar and support long-term health. But here's the key. All of these benefits only come when you remove the bad fats. Trans fats and highly processed vegetable oils, often used in packaged snacks, baked goods, and fast food, increase inflammation, damage your blood vessels, and accelerate the aging of your skin, joints, and brain. Hydrogenated oils, margarine, and deep-fried foods may taste good in the moment, but they leave a lasting cost. These fats are linked to higher risks of heart disease, diabetes, obesity, and memory decline. They harden your arteries and interrupt healthy blood flow to the brain. That's the opposite of what you want as you age. Here's a tip. Read labels. If a food lists partially hydrogenated oil, put it back. If it's fried in vegetable oil, think twice. Instead, cook at home more often, using olive oil or avocado oil. These oils remain stable at moderate temperatures and don't break down into harmful compounds the way some seed oils do. You can also shift how you build meals. Include a serving of healthy fat in each meal, a handful of nuts with breakfast, olive oil in your salad at lunch, grilled fish for dinner. Add avocado to sandwiches or blend seeds into smoothies. These aren't just tasty ideas. They are acts of nourishment that shape how you think, move, and feel. We're living longer than ever before. But living longer is not the same as living well. The difference often comes down to the health of your heart and the sharpness of your mind. And both depend heavily on the kind of fats you choose every day. So don't fear fat. Choose it wisely. Make it work for you. Because healthy fats are not a luxury. They are a necessity, especially when your goal is to stay strong, sharp, and centered in the decades ahead. There's a saying in medicine that aging is natural, but accelerated aging is often a choice. One of the biggest choices that quietly steals years from your life is your relationship with sugar, and not just the sweet stuff in desserts, but the refined carbs that flood your bloodstream and speed up the clock on your skin, brain, and blood vessels. Most people think of sugar as a treat, a little comfort after a long day. But the kind of sugar we're talking about, added sugar, is not the same as the natural sweetness in a fresh peach or a ripe banana. Added sugar is a manufactured ingredient poured into sodas, cereals, sauces, yogurts, and more. It's hidden in places you wouldn't expect, in salad dressings, granola bars, even in bread. When you eat too much sugar over time, your body starts to form something called advanced glycation end products, AGEs for short. The name is no coincidence. These AGEs bind to proteins like collagen and elastin in your body. These proteins are the scaffolding of your skin and joints. They're what keep your face firm, your joints flexible, and your skin smooth. When AGEs build up, they damage these proteins. Your skin begins to sag. Wrinkles deepen. Your joints become stiff and achy. You feel older, not just look it, but it doesn't stop at your appearance. These same AGEs damage your arteries, making them less elastic, which raises your blood pressure and puts more strain on your heart. They also affect your kidneys, your nerves, and your eyes, the same way diabetes does. In fact, many of the complications of diabetes are driven by these sugar-based reactions. Refined carbohydrates, like white bread, white rice, pasta made from white flour, and sugary breakfast cereals, act the same way. They break down quickly into glucose, spiking your blood sugar, flooding your system, and triggering a cascade of insulin and inflammation. Your body scrambles to control the sugar, but the repeated stress adds up. Over years, it weakens your system. You may not notice it right away, but the signs come. You gain weight, especially around your belly. You feel more tired after meals. You crave more sweets in the afternoon. And slowly, your body stops responding to insulin, efficiently setting the stage for type 2 diabetes, metabolic syndrome, and a host of inflammatory diseases that age you from the inside out. What does this mean for your brain? High-sugar diets have been linked to smaller hippocampal volume, the part of the brain responsible for memory. Excess glucose also increases the risk of depression and anxiety. It fuels inflammation in the brain, which disrupts communication between neurons. In short, too much sugar doesn't just make you crash. It slowly shortens your ability to think, remember, and feel joy. And then there's the emotional side. Sugar can be comforting. Many of us reach for it during stress or sadness. But that comfort is fleeting. It gives you a rush, then drops you lower than before. Over time, this cycle takes a toll on your mood, your hormones, your energy, and your motivation to take care of yourself. So what can you do? First, awareness. Start reading labels. Learn the many names for sugar, corn syrup, cane juice, maltose, dextrose, and dozens more. Look at the grams of sugar per serving. Try to limit products that list sugar in the first 3 ingredients. Second, crowd it out. When you eat more whole foods, fruits, vegetables, whole grains, nuts, seeds, and healthy proteins, you naturally crave less sugar. Your taste buds reset. Your energy stabilizes. You stop chasing the next fix because your body is finally satisfied. Third, find smarter sweets. If you want something sweet, reach for a piece of dark chocolate with berries. Try baking with mashed bananas or dates instead of white sugar. Enjoy roasted sweet potatoes or a small serving of fresh fruit. These still satisfy the craving, but they come with fiber, antioxidants, and vitamins that support your health. Fourth, watch the liquid sugar. Sodas, sweet teas, energy drinks, and even many smoothies are loaded with sugar. 1 can of soda has more sugar than your body can process in one sitting. Choose water, herbal teas, or coffee without added syrups. If you need a little flavor, infuse water with cucumber, lemon, or berries. And finally, be kind to yourself. Cutting sugar is not about punishment. It's about freedom. Freedom from the roller coaster of cravings, fatigue, and fog. It's about choosing how you want to feel 5, 10, 20 years from now. Every time you skip that sugary snack or swap white bread for whole grain, you're doing more than losing a pound. You're reclaiming time. You're protecting your skin, your heart, your mind. You're choosing to age slower, stronger, and with intention. We all expect to age. We expect gray hair, maybe some wrinkles, perhaps slower mornings. But aging isn't just what you see in the mirror. It's also what you feel in the little moments. And if you pay attention, your body will tell you when the aging process is moving too quickly. The question is, are you listening? Let's start with the skin. Most people notice changes here first. Your skin becomes thinner, drier, and less elastic. Fine lines turn into wrinkles. That glow you once had begins to fade. But what's really happening beneath the surface? Your body is producing less collagen, the protein that keeps skin firm and strong. Collagen is broken down faster when you have too much sugar, not enough antioxidants, or ongoing inflammation. This means that what you eat and how you live is etched right onto your face over time. Next is memory. You walk into a room and forget why. You misplace your keys. You search for words that used to come so easily. These little slips may seem harmless, but they're not just senior moments. They're signs that your brain is under stress, possibly from inflammation, poor circulation, or lack of key nutrients like omega-3s and B vitamins. A healthy brain depends on strong blood flow, stable energy, and protection from oxidative damage. And all of those depend on what you eat. Muscle loss is another silent signal. After the age of 50, you naturally begin to lose muscle mass, a condition called sarcopenia. It's not just about strength or appearance. Losing muscle affects your balance, your posture, your ability to recover from injury. It even affects your metabolism. With less muscle, your body burns fewer calories at rest. This means weight gain becomes easier, especially around the midsection, where it increases your risk for diabetes and heart disease. You may also notice changes in your balance. Maybe you trip more often. Maybe standing on one foot becomes a challenge. Your sense of balance is controlled by your brain, your inner ear, your muscles, and your nerves. When any part of that system weakens from aging, inflammation, or poor nutrition, your risk of falling goes up. And for older adults, falls can lead to serious injury or even loss of independence. Then there's fatigue. Not just the kind that comes from a long day, but a kind of tiredness that doesn't lift, even after sleep. This type of fatigue is often a sign that your mitochondria, the tiny engines inside your cells, are struggling. When your cells can't make energy efficiently, you feel it everywhere. Mitochondrial function declines with age, but it declines faster with poor diet, chronic stress, lack of exercise, and exposure to toxins. You might also experience more joint pain. That ache in your knees or stiffness in your back might seem like a natural part of aging, but often it's inflammation. Fed by the wrong foods, sugar, refined carbs, trans fats, and made worse by lack of movement. Inflammation breaks down cartilage, tightens connective tissue, and slows healing. The result? Pain, stiffness, and reduced mobility. Sleep is another window into how you're aging. If you find it harder to fall asleep, stay asleep, or wake up feeling rested, your internal systems may be out of balance. Hormones like melatonin and cortisol play key roles in sleep, and both are influenced by what you eat, how much light you get during the day, and how much stress you carry. Poor sleep accelerates every other aging process, from weight gain to memory loss. And finally, digestion. As you age, your stomach produces less acid. This can lead to poor absorption of nutrients like B12, iron, and magnesium. You may also notice more bloating, heartburn, or irregular bowel movements. These are not just annoyances. They are signs that your gut health needs attention with fiber, probiotics, and fewer processed foods. So why does this matter? Because these signs are not just about discomfort or inconvenience. They are messages. Your body is telling you something is out of balance. And the earlier you listen, the more power you have to slow the clock, repair the damage, and restore vitality. That doesn't mean turning back time. It means choosing to age with your eyes open, your habits aligned, and your goals intact. It means seeing those fine lines not as defeat, but as reminders that your body is always communicating, and your job is to respond with care, not with fear. You can't stop aging, but you can change the speed, the feel, and the quality of the journey. Every symptom is an invitation. Every ache is a prompt. Every forgotten name, every rough morning, every skipped step is a chance to ask, what can I do differently today? The answer often begins with your fork, your schedule, your sleep, and your mindset. Because the body doesn't age alone. It ages with the mind, the spirit, and the choices you make day after day. Every day, you are aging. That's not a threat. That's a truth. It happens whether you're aware of it or not. But the way you age, how you feel in your body, how sharp your mind stays, how present you are with the people you love that is not left to fate. That is something you shape with every decision you make. Starting now, we've talked about the silent damage that sugar and inflammation cause. We've explored the foods that heal your cells and protect your brain. We've seen how healthy fats nourish your heart and memory. We've uncovered the early signs of aging that most people ignore and why paying attention can change your future. Now it's time to put all of that together. Because aging isn't just about wrinkles or birthday candles. It's about energy. It's about resilience. It's about joy. And more than anything, it's about staying connected to yourself, to your purpose, to the people who matter most. So what does it mean to age with intention? It means starting your day with fuel that honors your body. Not a rush of caffeine and sugar, but real nourishment, whole grains, berries, protein, healthy fats. It means walking instead of sitting, stretching instead of stiffening, breathing instead of rushing. It means turning off screens at night and letting your mind unwind. It means drinking water like your body depends on it, because it does. It means looking in the mirror and not judging what you see, but listening. Are you sleeping enough? Are you eating what your body needs, not just what your emotions crave? Are you moving every day in ways that challenge you but also bring you peace? It means replacing shame with strategy. You don't need to blame yourself for the past, but you do need to take responsibility for the future. That future starts with simple steps. Steps you repeat until they become a rhythm of care, a rhythm of respect. Because the food you eat, the way you move, the people you spend time with, and the thoughts you repeat, all of these are building your future body, your future brain, your future joy. This isn't about living forever. It's about living fully. It's about being able to pick up your grandchild without wincing, to remember names and stories that make you laugh, to walk through your home without fear of falling, to sit down at a meal and enjoy every bite without medication by your side. It's about being present for the sunrises, for the birthdays, for the quiet walks and the loud celebrations. It's about holding on to the dignity and vitality that too many people believe disappears after 50 or 60. But here's what I know. After decades of working with patients, it doesn't have to. Your best years can still be ahead of you. Not because your body is perfect, but because you know how to care for it. Not because your memory is flawless, but because you're feeding it with intention. Not because you'll never face challenges, but because you'll meet them with strength. And strength, my friend, is built one choice at a time. So today, I want to leave you with this. Eat like your brain depends on it, because it does. Move like your balance and independence depend on it, because they do. Rest like your healing depends on it, because it absolutely does. And love yourself enough to do these things even when no one else is watching. Even when it's hard. Even when it feels too late. It's never too late to start aging differently. It's never too late to feel better. It's never too late to take back control. You don't need magic. You need consistency. You need clarity. You need to listen to your body and respond with kindness and discipline. Aging well is not a mystery. It's a practice. One that begins with awareness and grows with action. And now, you have both. So take this knowledge, take this momentum, and turn it into something powerful. Not just for you, but for the people who are watching you, your children, your neighbors, your community. Show them that aging can be strong. It can be graceful. It can be a return to self, not a retreat from life. You are not too old. You are not too late. You are right on time.